first, again, thank the committee for taking time for us, and also what you guys did with the funding last year to protect some of the tribal funding that has been available and to fight to maintain those levels. However, for us, I always like to share a little bit about our tribe first. The Hoopa Valley Tribe, we're located probably about a 2-hour drive from the Oregon border. We're about an hour from the coast. We occupy the largest reservation in California. However, we really only occupy about a third of our Aboriginal territory. And we're on the Trinity River, which is a tributary to the Klamath River, so we're a big part of the Klamath Basin. Good friend of mine, our longtime self-governance coordinator for the Hoopa Valley Tribe, he always talks about when the dams were put into place on the Trinity River, it represented a massive transfer of wealth from the Hoopa Reservation to the Central Valley. Ever since our lands were cut, our water was reduced, and our salmon populations have suffered mightily. It's put us in a position where we want to make sure that the trust responsibility is upheld, because when these things were being done and our kids were being sent to boarding schools, we were losing our language. We were always guaranteed that the trust responsibility would help make up for that. And there's a lot of great work that's done on our reservation. We have an awesome forestry program. We have a great fisheries program, an excellent fire program. A lot of hardworking men and women that come through, and our tribal employees, and we want to maintain our way of life. We want to maintain our tribal sovereignty, our identity in our own lands. However, with such great loss of resources over time, we do continue to struggle with poverty on our reservation, high rates of crime and drug abuse. And by supporting these programs like our Tribal Law Enforcement Program, our Office of Emergency Services, Social Services, ICWA, forestry, fire, fisheries, our irrigation system, our public utilities district, as well as our Councilman Medical Center funded through Indian Health Service, these are things that are great investments that will get our people more healthy, get us back to where we've always been, which was we never depended upon the government. We were self-sufficient. And by investing in us, just providing, making up for the losses that we've seen over time, we feel that we can get back to a thriving people. And we're starting to see that. We're making good progress. As I mentioned, a lot of great, hardworking people that I represent here today. I'm very inspired by all of them, and we have young people that are going to college, graduating from Stanford and Ivy League schools, and so it shows that when the support is there for our people, we can do great things. However, I wanted to mention that just last week, young man by the name of Dylan Moon, only 17 years old, was murdered on our reservation by some of his peers. And these are all children that grew up in poverty. I'll be honest with you, everyone that was involved. And so the more we can support these types of programs, the healthier our people will be. And we want to do good things. We want to be hardworking. We want to continue to rely on our salmon fishery and see that fishery restored. We want to be able to continue to support our firefighters. So not only are we protecting our assets like our timber, which we rely upon heavily, but also protecting homes and safety, and it provides for great careers. We see a lot of young men and women go into that program, and they find their identity in that. They become great role models in our community. They raise their families, and sometimes they move on to other career opportunities because we can't afford to pay them what they're worth. Actually, our base fire funding has not increased in 24 years. So, you can only imagine, with inflation, how much the costs have risen over time. We basically our funding is being diminished year after year, and our partners with the Forest Service, they don't have to wait around for reimbursements. We have to front all this money and then wait around for reimbursements. It really puts us in a bind when we're not able to do that. our engines, our equipment is aging. Being treated at the same level as our counterparts like the Forest Service, and being adequately funded, because we're fighting a lot of the same fires. We help the Forest Service out a lot on their fires, and protecting our own reservation as well. If you look at the Johnson O'Malley program for education in the 1970s, we were getting around $2,500 per student. Today it's around $64 per student, and so just remembering that we're running short, and we appreciate the support. We want to do good things, and it'll make the country better to see a healthier Indian country. So we really appreciate any support we can get, and lots of hardworking folks out here.